Well, Jets fans, today is a very, very good day. After yesterday, some scary news came in about Breece Hall went down with that non-contact injury in practice. We just got the best update that we possibly could have gotten. You're watching the Jets Report by Chat Sports. We are presented by Prize Picks. My name is Mike Jarapito. Let's get right into the news here that came in from head coach Aaron Glenn this morning. Thank God, Breece Hall will only miss 2 to 3 weeks with that groin injury he suffered in practice yesterday. He should be good to go for week 1. That Jets game 26 days away now against the Tennessee Titans. So I'm really looking forward to Breece Hall being back in action. He'll miss, I guess, the rest of the preseason, most of the rest of camp, but really, really good stuff here. From what it could have been to what it was right now, really, really good news here. So you could breathe a sigh of relief now if you are the Jets. And for Breece Hall, what he's done for the Jets team, what he's done for this Jets team over the past 4 seasons since he's been in the NFL, I mean, I think I should be expecting his best season yet, right? And if I look at 2023, I say, well, he had about 1,600 yards, 1,600 total yards. Even last year in a horrible offense on a team that was trailing about 90% of the time, 1,400 total yards adds to this offense in the receiving game. I think he should be a lot better this upcoming season. And something that I've been saying on this show is that I do think he's going to have an even more expanded role in 2026. As I look back to a guy like Jonathan Taylor with the Indianapolis Colts. He was getting 18 carries a game. He was getting 90 yards. Like, I look back to that, what Frank Reich did with Taylor, and I think he wants to do that with a guy like Breece Hall. And Hall is definitely capable of doing this, isn't he? I think we know this as Jets fans, that certain guys, they haven't lived up to their full potential just because they've been in a situation to where your team is trailing all the damn time. Last year, I think it was 93% of the snaps we took, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think we might have broken a record there. So for Breece, I do expect this season to be a hell of a lot better from his standpoint. All right, I got 2 more injury updates for you guys. And if you want all the updates that you could possibly imagine, all you got to do, freest way to support the channel, a free way to support the channel, really the only way to support the channel, make sure to hit that sub button, turn on those notifications. You're going to get videos every day from me. This is our first video of the day. We're going to have a second one out later today. We had 2 yesterday. We got Jets content out the wazoo right here on the Jets Report. All right, some good news here. Kenyon Sadiq and D'Angelo Ponds both expected to be ready for the Jets Week 1 opener against the Tennessee Titans. And this one kind of got me thinking, first of all, great news with these guys, with Sadiq, with D'Angelo Ponds. I was pretty worried about Kenyon Sadiq. When we got that initial report that he had the setback with this hernia injury, that didn't really seem great, but now he's on track to play Week 1. Hopefully he should be back at practice. Hopefully these guys back at practice in the next week or 2. We will see. I think Pond's more likely to return sooner than Sadiq, but I think about this Jets team and these Jets rookies. There are a lot of guys, and it's not just the rookies. When I'm talking about these young players, it's not just the rookies who are going to be extremely important to the success of this team in 2026. Like, we are relying on these 4 guys to walk in and make an immediate impact with the team. Bailey is going to be, hopefully, our sack leader. Kenyon Sadiq is going to be major in the Jets passing game. Omar Cooper, obviously, as well. D'Angelo Ponds expected probably to take that slot cornerback job to start this season. So it's not just these guys are going to walk in and we're saying, well, you're going to have to, well, all these guys are going to have to fight for their right to play more. I mean, we know they're going to play at least a little bit, all of them, of course, but all of these guys are going to have to fight for their right to get a lot of snaps with this Jets team. But I expect all of them to come in and immediately make an impact, be important players on this Jets team in 2026. Not just them, but still young guys like Membu, Fashanu, Tippmann. I'd consider Garrett and Breece young. Like, this Jets team is incredibly reliant on these young playmakers this upcoming season. Now, I got to take you back to last year. I know we didn't get lucky with a lot of things last year, but I think about, I guess, Garrett Wilson goes down for a little bit. Well, most of the season, I'd say probably 9 or 10 games for Garrett Wilson. I know AVT got hurt before the season, but during the year, didn't it feel like there weren't a lot of injuries with this Jets team? I mean, I think about the offensive line. They were fully healthy throughout the entire season, minus the AVT preseason injury. Like, we got pretty lucky last year with injuries, so it's nice to have all these guys back. It's nice to have legitimate depth at some of these positions as we head into the 2026 season. All right, give you 3 really nice Jets updates there. If you're feeling good about it, let me know by getting down in the comments, giving me a Jet up. I mean, I'm loving this news today. Based off what yesterday was, all the bad news that came in, today is a good day to be a Jets fan. All right, Got a little bit more on the back half of today's show on T'Vondre Sweat, how he's going to impact this defense, and how we align in 2026. Before I get into him, I'm going to tell you about today's sponsor. Those are our friends over at PrizePicks. Today's show was made possible by PrizePicks. It is time to cash in with our friends at PrizePicks. They are America's #1 sports picks app. They are the best place to win cash when you are watching sports. And the app is really, really easy to use. All you got to do, pick more or less on a few player stats, then you lock in your lineup. They got a new social feeds feature. You can share PrizePicks with your buddies and copy lineups with just a single click. Lineups like these. This is a season-long one that we have right now. We got the more on Garrett, the more on Genty, and the more on Colston. Loveland, that's a 10 to pay $60 power play. They also now have early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you got that option to cash out those winnings before the game even ends. New Year's offer, brand new offer. Play your first $5 to get $150 in lineups. If you win, just use code HMA when you sign up. You heard me right. PrizePicks just switched up their offer, so there is no better time to join, lock in, and win that first lineup. That's code HMA at sign up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win that first $5 lineup. Thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. Okay, T'Vondre Sweat is back at practice for the New York Jets today, and this is a big one because I kind of felt his absence in the preseason game against the Bucs. I know the starters only played a few drives there, but you could tell, especially with David Bailey, you could tell there was an impact along this defensive line. And now I take a look at this defensive line. I think Sweat is arguably the most important defensive tackle, arguably the most important guy across this entire defensive line, this entire front four, right? Because I feel like he opens up so much for those other guys, and not just the guys on the edge. I just think with guys like Bailey, McDonald, Ossai, like those guys on the edge, when you get that big guy in the middle, and I'm talking about a big guy here, 360 damn pounds is T'Vondre Sweat. So when you get that guy in the middle that could plug up those holes and maybe like help out a guy like David Bailey that might be getting double teamed. Even against the Bucs, Bailey was getting double teamed. The focus was on him. So Sweat comes in now, that huge enforcer in the middle of this defense. It's going to help you not only rush the passer, but defend the run. I'm really looking forward to him in this defense. I'd make an argument that he is the most important player on this Jets defensive line as we head in to this season. Nick Faria of Sports Illustrated was talking about the impact that T'Vondre Sweat may have on this Jets defense. He said Sweat's return to the practice field changes how the Jets play defense. Without him on the field, the team has focused its efforts on using 4 down linemen in base personnel. New York has gone quicker, but weaker up front since his absence. Things are different now. Sweat's abilities can allow the Jets to run more of a 3-4 group with 5 down linemen and eradicate any hope opposing teams have in trying to run the football against them. And for Glenn, and I thought it was interesting that he was talking about the scheme there. It's something that we haven't talked a whole lot about on the show, and maybe I'm guilty of that. But I think for Glenn, he said, like, a lot of people see I'll get a few comments every now and then when I show that depth chart, and they say, Mike, don't you know we're playing a 3-4? Well, I don't even know. I'm not even sure of that. Hell, Aaron Glenn's not even sure of that. So I'm going to leave it the way it is until we see some real action for this Jets team in the regular season. So Glenn himself says, hey, I don't really want to be pinned down by any kind of system. Sure, he was more known for running the 3-4 back in Detroit, but I don't think he's going to pin himself down. I know Brian Duker was asked about it. Hey, 4-3 or 3-4. This was almost 2 months ago. But he said, I'm just going to play the best players on defense. So it feels like the Jets are going out of their way not to tip their hand. Remember that competitive advantage with the quarterback position last year? So we're going to be doing that with the defensive play calling. Speaking of Glenn as a play caller, you guys get down in the comments. Let me know your confidence in Glenn as a play caller. Scale it from 1 to 10, because I think about last year and what Steve Wilks did for this defense. I guess what he didn't do for this defense. Glenn goes out, hires Wilks, trusts him to run his defense. It obviously doesn't work out. Fires him in week 14. Now Glenn is saying, well, defensive play calling is my superpower. You better get it right. You're a defensive-minded head coach. You are on the hot seat. You have your guys. You guys let me know down in the comments. Give me 1 to 10, your confidence in Glenn calling the plays on defense. Before we get on out of here, I thought this was worth noting because Omar Cooper is a guy who throughout camp has really been pretty quiet. And we had that report the other week that was saying, hey, Isaiah Williams might leapfrog Omar Cooper in this Jets depth chart. And I'm thinking, really? Like, is he really having that bad of a summer? I like Isaiah Williams. Hell, he was the Curtis Martin team MVP last season, but that was for his work on special teams. Cooper should absolutely win that slot job. I know AD Mitchell seems like the locked in wide receiver too, as we stand right now, but I look at that room now and I'm thinking, not so bad. Not so bad. I think this is a real room for the Jets going into the season. It's not just Garrett Wilson and a bunch of dudes, right? And that's the thing we have to avoid. Like whether it's like the thing that I'm looking forward to the most about this Jets offense in general this year is the fact that the defense is not going to be able to hone in on one guy and make that their entire defensive game plan and shut down the Jets. You want to focus on Breece Hall? Okay, we're going to beat you over the top with Garrett Wilson and Omar Cooper and AD Mitchell. You want to focus on Garrett Wilson? No problem. We got Omar Cooper, AD Mitchell, Kenyon Sadiq, Mason Taylor, Breece Hall. Like, there are guys now on this offense to where I'm thinking if Geno has another season like he had last year for the Vegas Raiders, I'm not going to be standing here saying, oh, well, he didn't have this, this, and that. There's almost no excuses for Geno Smith in 2026 not to improve off of what he did last year for the Raiders. So I want to thank you guys. That'll do it for today's show. I want to thank you guys for watching. Just hit another semi-milestone here. Almost getting closer to 15K. Just hit 14.5K. I want to thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with me here on the show. If you enjoyed today's show, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. Turn on those bells. I want to thank you guys for watching. And as always, JETS, 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 Jets.